Obi-Wan Kenobi A didn't test well with a lot of audiences, which is why we have Obi-Wan Kenobi B, obviously. Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Zareth Prevails. Today we've got a new Datacron set that we can explore. There's a lot of interesting stuff going on, and at the same time it's a little bit mild. It's mid, it's okay. It doesn't totally suck. If you guys want to see the infographic that I created for it, you guys can go to the Discord server, get it for free, and give it to your guild. Print it out, put it on your fridge. Do something awesome with that. Use it, but laminate it and use it as a placemat. All really extremely viable things to do with it, but you can do that on my Discord server. It's found in the link in the video description, and it's free, guys. Go check it out. Please, however, leave a like or subscribe, comment, something like that on this channel. It would be hugely appreciated because I'm doing this for free. I would really appreciate it. Huge shout out to my patrons, by the way. You guys are amazing, and I couldn't do things like this without you. Thank you guys so much for your support. It really means the world to me. You guys really have no idea how important you are. Thank you so much. And if you want to support this channel for free, folks, all you gotta do is hit that thumbs up button. Like I said, let's mount the algorithm. Let's talk about this new Datacron set. The stuff in the infographic is pretty bare bones. We're gonna go over it a little more in depth here, just so you guys know. So we're getting more information to you watching this video. It helps, guys. It does help you, it helps me, all of us, it helps. So the set is pretty tame, honestly. It's one of the tamer ones. There's still interesting Datacrons, but there's nothing, like a lot of times we'll have these enormous kits that they just tack on to the end of some character and just make them overpowered. Like the POW one, it comes to mind. It's about to dust, but it's a pretty good one. There's even the ETH one is really crazy. This one does have a couple kind of big-ish factions. The Rebels and Unaligned Force users are pretty big, but the Unaligned Force users will actually, you'll see, it's a little contained. And Imperial Troopers, in fact, support more teams than the UFU teams, crons, I think. So stats are about damage, kind of. Mostly you're just gonna want armor pen because that's the thing that's going to be good. It's going to do extra damage for you. Just keep in mind the armor pen is only used on characters that do physical damage, and some characters of course do either one. You can find out what those are. I've had a few people ask me, how do you tell if it's physical damage or special damage or whatever, and you can just read it in the abilities description. It'll say deal physical damage, etc. And I know that some of you are going to be rolling your eyes like, no, everyone knows that they don't actually. It's something that's not intuitive for some people, and so you can go check that out though. Just in the abilities text, it'll tell you, and then you'll have to memorize all of the characters who have special damage. No, but remember, like characters that don't do special, or that do special damage, won't make any use out of the armor pen. Similarly, resistance pen is only used with special damage. Anyways, the stats, there's 7 of them. It's tough for the majority of people. You're going to just want to skip the stats. I just kind of ignore them, or like spending rerolls. Typically, if you have enough reroll mats, you're gonna want to spend them on abilities. The stats are just not universal. And armor pen is only going to benefit like 2/3 of the characters, because for some reason 2/3 of the characters ish do physical damage. So what about the mechanics in this game? Well, they're not as crazy. Like I said before, they don't have as robust text that's going on, which means they're pretty simple and they're not going to impact things in the dramatic way a lot of them are. Now, I'm surprised by this because we just got Galactic Legend Ahsoka Tano released recently. I thought that she was going to have a really strong bespoke cron. She was going to just kind of dominate with her Datacron. I'm guessing we'll have a different Datacron a little bit later, like a Spectre one that's specifically, I would expect her to dominate at that point. point, but I mean she's gonna still be pretty good with her Datacron, I think. We'll have to see. I'm not as familiar with her and her kit as I will be eventually. So the things that we're really gonna be focusing on here, folks, beyond the people who did end up unlocking Galactic Legend of Ahsoka Tano early, we're gonna be looking at the level 3s. There's a good one for light side. It's just the one that gives you a bunch of extra health and protection. If there's more light side characters, it's the one that dark side currently has that's pretty popular. And then the dark side has a few really tasty ones. One of them is just far and away better than the rest, though. All dark side allies start the battle with plus 25% turn meter. It's a little bit crazy, especially when you pair it with Imperial Troopers, but this is going to be one that you're going to want a lot of level 3s for, because if you're going to be placing teams in GAC, your guys are going to just perform a lot better if they're super duper duper fast, which 25% turn meter doesn't sound like a lot. It's actually a lot, though. It's quite the head start. It's a significant difference. So and then there's the Rebels have Riposte, which is nice. It's the ability that when you hit out of your regular turn, you're going to hit underneath protection, which is actually really strong as well for Rebels, because they're constantly assisting each other or hitting back, countering, whatever. So it's a pretty good one. They also have a pretty generic, whenever they when they end their turn, they're going to get defense pen and offense up, which are two really powerful buffs, especially when they're in tandem. So honestly, the set is pretty chill. It's very straightforward too. It's kind of like the most honest version of a Datacron set that you can have, in a way. Like it's just, oh, you hit a little bit harder, you do a little more damage, you destroy people a little bit harder. It's nothing, at least at first glance, it doesn't seem too crazy. The faction Rebels is going to probably get the biggest one. Remember, folks, so there's going to be Commander Luke Skywalker and Ahsoka Tano Fulcrum, who are both Rebels, but they're going to be, if you want to roll their Datacrons, if you want to get their level 9s, you're going to have to go to the light side Unaligned Force user level 6 first, in order to get there, because they're not found under the Rebel heading, they're found under the UFU heading for this current set. We're going to have that question happen a lot, and I'm saying it now. I'm sure that it won't help at all. There's still going to be a lot of people who ask this, but one way or another, I think Mothra it's going to be real interesting, because all of her stuff is all gone. We're getting rid of the lotion Datacron, the Luthen Datacron, and the POW one is also gone, which kind of, you would think that was going to make them a lot weaker, but now we have the, because Mothma has everyone assisting every single turn, right? Mothra does a really good job of that, and at the same time, Rebels just got the Riposte Cron for level 6. That one's going to be really strong with her, and my guess is that we're gonna be putting Luthen with Mon Mothma. I don't know for sure, but that seems pretty good. Saw is still gonna be pretty good. They have a few assists going on, at least. The shockingly high-grade fish team with Admiral Raddus is going to continue to be strong. Probably not quite as strong, because they're going to be missing that Jyn level 6. There's a lot of things that they'll be missing, actually, but it's all going to be good. Remember, the CLS team could have C-3PO's Cron, but then you're not getting to use the CLS one. So you'll have to make your own damn decisions, folks. I could see arguments for either. We'll have to see, but I think that they're both pretty decent. Troopers are all over the place in terms of how will they support the game. Like there's always the Imperial Remnants team, which have a few troopers in them still. The Veers team is really interesting if you put Piet with them, because Piet is going to he does a lot of stuff, but when he dies, he buffs his team. I mean, Piet has that interesting cron that we're gonna see people who try to put Piet with Rey, and it kind of works, because when he dies, he'll revive, and he revives everyone else. If he's not the last one to die, he revives everyone else on his team that has died already, and that would include light side, presumably. And when that happens, he also gives them plus 100% offense, which is nice for Rey. Obviously, she wants that extra offense. She's greedy for it. She loves the idea of extra offense, but in doing so, you're adding a dark side character to the team, which turns off a lot of like Ben Solo's abilities, and I mean, depending on what other characters are on there, you're going to just hurt yourself irreparably. So, anyways, you can kind of plug and play Piet in a lot of different places. I think the one that's the most interesting for me is like a Maul lead Mandalorian team with Piet, because he'll just be able to impact the battle a lot. And remember, Gar and ISC are only going to work on teams that have either Empire or Darkside Mandalorians. They won't work on like a mixed breed, so to speak, team with light side Mandos. They're not cool like that. I think eventually we just end up putting Piet with Lord Vader. The Magma Trooper, gosh, it's an AoE that causes fear, which is really strong. Are we gonna put Magma with Lord Vader? Who knows, man. I mean, that's what the picture here says that I'm gonna do, but I'm not sure. There's also Snow Trooper, who does some cool stuff, and he just stays in damage immunity and can have a perfect turn meter loop in 5v5, because every time he crits, he gains a bunch of turn meter. And so with Iden, you can do a lot of interesting stuff with him. He's going to make your Iden team Wampa proof, which is pretty cool as well. Seems like a pretty neat set for them. I mean, this covers a lot of different teams, a wide range of teams within the Darkside factions. So, kind of interesting, folks. There's the Lasufu Kron set, and this is kind of, it's weird because the level 6s are just, frankly, not that great. They're fine. They're decent. The reality is the level 9s on this one are pretty good. You can, the Fulcrum one, it seems like they've been putting one of these out every new set, where every time your enemy takes a turn, a character gets to take a bonus turn. Like Dengar currently has that, right? And it's pretty good. And I guess that one's gonna still be in existence even as Fulcrum jumps in. And so she's gonna be pretty plug and play on a lot of teams. I don't know for sure if she's gonna go with Leia, but it seems pretty nice because Leia likes people who are gonna take a lot of turns, because you can cycle through your different cooldowns, and she is one of those characters who needs a lot of turns if she's on a Leia team to be able to cycle through, but then Leia buffs her pretty nicely. However, then the Leia team won't be able to benefit from a level 6 Rebel Kron, so we'll have to stay tuned and see about that. But one way or another, there will be no issues finding a home for Fulcrum, and she's gonna be an absolute beast in Territory Wars if you have her Omicron, if you have Cal's Omicron, all of that stuff. And then Rey, I mean, there's, maybe you want this. I think you probably do want the Rey one here, because you're gonna want the extra health and protection from the level 3, and then you can make Cal a little bit tougher to kill, which is good, because typically if I'm countering a Rey team with baby Cal on it, I typically try to target and take him out first, because he does a better job than Bastila of protecting Rey. And then, of course, if you've unlocked Galactic Legend Ahsoka Tano, you're going to want to use her Datacron. I think that's the one you want anyways, so enjoy, have fun with that. I suppose I am so close to unlocking her, he said facetiously. Congratulations to all you a-holes who do have them. There's Tuskens. I don't think we're going to be able to, it's never worked before that well, but I don't know if we're going to be able to support like 2 different teams if you put Omicrons on a Tusken Raider and on Chieftain. I didn't see it there, guys. I kind of looked for it actually to see if that was going to be a thing. In 3s, you could have 2 Tusken squads. I think you're just going to have the one best team with Tusken Chieftain, Warrior, and Raider. And the other 2, he's like a seal or something. And Shaman, I think they're just gonna ride the bench in 3s as they usually do. But Tuskens, that they're like, hey, we have to have some random other faction here to make things weird. So here it is, guys. It's weird. It is weird. It looks okay though. I mean, the extra turn meter from Chieftain may be good. They're already doing a lot of, I don't know. They might be good. So how to choose? What are you gonna support, guys? So already in, you're gonna want to support your Galactic Legends. As always, Galactic Legends are kind of by definition overpowered in this game, and so you want to support your Galactic Legends with Datacrons first. If you can only get a couple, you're going to want ones that support the GLs that you have. And you already, in theory, you already have the good Jedi Datacrons from the set that is not going to dust here in a minute. So if you do have those going on, if you already have those for the Jedi, you're still going to want to support like Rey and whatever other UFUs you may have. I mean, Leia is not an UFU, but she can support a good UFU because she has a rebel on her team who is an unaligned force user in Fulcrum. So you want to do that. Rebels and Imperials, like I said, they're both pretty well supported here, you know, all over the place. And then I think really for a lot of people, you're really going to want to prioritize the dark side level 3 that gives you plus 25% turn meter. I think that's going to really mess with the people who you're facing. They're not going to expect that you're going to go first, and you're going to be able to make all sorts of things happen. The combination of that plus the level 6 from the grit level 6 for Imperial Troopers makes your guys start at like kind of, I think that's going to make you start faster than Galactic Legends for the most part. Though if it's a dark side Galactic Legend, then of course you probably won't start faster than them. So I'm really interested to see how that all turns out. You're just gonna want a lot of level 3s, guys. And of course the character ones, about half of them are good. It's not a bad set. Honestly, this is a really nice Christmas break set. Right, like you're still gonna be busy farming crons, but it's not this crazy urgent, like, oh my gosh, I have to get this and ignore my family so I can play Conquest and get all the Datacrons and stuff. You can kind of just wing it a little bit. I mean, I wouldn't recommend just totally not working on Datacrons, of course, but this is one that, whereas it's not missable, it's also not crazy urgent right now, have to get it. You can take a few days a little bit more easy than usual, and I think that's great for the holiday season. For a conquest that starts 2 days before Christmas, I think that's a pretty nice gift from CG that we don't have any of these crazy book level 9s for other characters, or even level 6s. I had to, on the infographic, I had to take off the little blurb that talks about long words as the reference, because there aren't any abilities that are more than like 1 line. I think the grit one is 2 lines, and that's it for level 6s. So anyways, folks, what do you think? What are you going to be getting? What are you excited about? Troopers and Rebels? Not too bad, folks. UFUs are kind of just a couple different teams. Not bad. Alright, I'm just rambling now. I'm going to let you guys go. I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope you have a wonderful holiday. Guys, thank you all so much for watching. And remember that in all things, Xaereth prevails. Please remember to like and subscribe and comment right now. Damn it. Have a good one, folks.